Final Fantasy 1.
The legend begins.
What a fucking mess they made of this.
It's... Did they sell any? They must have done.
Are they trees? 1980s. Final Fantasy 1.
Before my time.
Changed the... When were you born?
After this.
You had a party and you travelled about, and wow, it was great. It was a great...
As parties go, this one is poor. This is the kind of party you'd spend in the kitchen.
Final Fantasy 2.
That's the first game with chocobos, all the things that we come to expect.
Wow.
To be disappointed by in the future releases.
And you can walk over the trees in Final Fantasy 2. That was
seamless.
Look how fast that text is scrolling.
You could
1980s.
You could be in a class, like back in school. So you know, don't say the wrong thing. You never know who might be carrying. I mean, this is the sort of thing that other people weren't doing at the time because it was incorrect.
Me. Is that a wow? Final Fantasy 3. Now, in my opinion, they nailed it.
Careful. Yeah, this was
what happened?
Big changes for the Final Fantasy series at this point. You know, this storylines becoming more
words. It goes on for longer. People talk.
Final Fantasy 3.
Let me tell you,
people. Go on.
4 character designs. They smashed it. Absolutely fucking smashed it.
Locations.
Final Fantasy 4. The graphics. Wow.
A big overhaul in the graphics.
The gameplay. Forget about it.
Enemy designs took on a life of their own.
The graphics.
Tell us a little about the battle system.
It gets you involved. Final Fantasy V. It's not until you look back that you realise just how influential these games really were.
Final Fantasy V, the first one that moved away from the medieval sort of bedrooms and broomsticks idea.
That's right. I didn't
brought it into the techno age.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I'd never noticed that before. Ignore that. Final Fantasy VI.
Watch out for the snow.
Boof, you fucker. They smashed it, let me tell you.
The introduction of Gil as the money system.
Oh, I thought you meant the character from Street Fighter 2. This is breaking into it's really going for the Western market now, getting Sylvester Stallone involved with the Final Fantasy franchise. The graphics. Wow, 1980s.
What's Sylvester Stallone's mother's name?
Sylvester. 6. There he goes.
Punch a beak.
Woof. If you don't mind, eh?
And down he goes. See, this was the kind of thing that you just weren't getting anywhere else because they knew better.
Is that way again?
There was a jump which, for RPGs at the time, was considered a mistake. Ah, you didn't.
See, Final Fantasy VII.
The first game in the series, and for many, the best.
Sephiroth, and
there was big talk at the time. Is this really happening? And it wasn't.
Final Fantasy VII, VIII. Wow. Now they've ditched all the silly bollocks and they've got grown up for this.
Yeah, they decided it's not for kids anymore. We're getting
fuck the kids.
Fuck the kids. We're getting in some serious emotions now. It had the worst characters, the worst locations, and the worst battle system, but it was alright.
They smashed it.
It was terrible on every level, and the plot.
Hell Gel.
The plot holes are unforgivable.
Wow.
It was alright.
Smashed it.
It's alright.
Absolutely didn't make any sense.
This is poor.
I loved Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah.
It had a wee man in it with a big hat.
It's very nice. Final Fantasy IX, a lot of fond memories for a lot of people here.
It was a game changer.
It was. It talked about life and death, and only one of the characters was terrible.
Good for you. Final Fantasy X.
Now, a lot of people give Final Fantasy X a lot of flack.
Final Fantasy 11.
You're gonna have to talk to... I never played it.
You never played Final Fantasy? It's all the action. It's online. Control. As far as turn-based RPGs go, this was one of the...
Chocobos.
They're hiding behind the stuff in the background there.
Gashel Greens.
Beg your pardon?
Final Fantasy XII. Now, let's not forget what Final Fantasy XII did for the series. It
did the same thing.
A whole new breath of life by doing what it had done.
The people liked it before.
You come into a church, medieval's back,
and that's same away again.
Well, they're busy.
Final Fantasy 13.
Final Fantasy 13, the best of the Final Fantasy 13 range until the others.
They smashed it. Absolute game changer.
13 features lightning. Very yes, the brand new. There's now lightning. 13, 33. This character's name is Lightning.
That's the main.
You should know because this is important. It's a game changer.
I've heard that they've actually started finishing making them before they start making them.
Lightning. I can confirm that is in fact the case. When you make because an expensive game like Final Fantasy 13, if you make you can't just set those assets, if you make the waste, you got to use those again. So we're looking forward to Final Fantasy 13 2, Final Fantasy 13
absolutely.
We can still use these. Why not just release more? And why not these?
Yeah,
same
exactly.
Change the words.
Why not? That's
Final Fantasy. You can actually
Final Fantasy 13 7
characters and just shops. If it's just the main character, you want to buy it? Then main character in a box.
Yes.
Well, why not? I mean, you could do it.
Exactly.
Jump on it.
What else are you gonna do?
Lightning is waiting for you to help her solve the case.
Final Fantasy.
It's been with us. Final Fantasy 13.
Where would we be with this? It's not going anywhere.
It's been around.
It's still
around.
Gonna
stick around. People do buy it.
It's not going anywhere.
You bought it when it was
one of them was
you
good.
Bought it when
they
it was
bought
bad.
them when they were good.
That's a keeper. They bought them when they were bad, so they'll be around. You bought
big fans, guys. Keep up the great.
And then they changed the recipe, and it's
there's
terrible.
Two that are really good.
Still buy it.
Which ones?
There's one
Eat
that's
up.
alright, and then there's
Eat
others.
Up, you fucking mess.
Great. It's gone from strength to sequel.
Wow.
From strength to sequel.